Hey comic book fans, today we're talking about Niobe issue 3. This is from Stranger Comics, and this has been a very, I would say, obscure read for me because it doesn't read like a regular comic book. It's in comic book form, but it reads more like a traditional novel. But what's going on here in the present is Niobe is fighting this being known as the Silver King. And he's a being of execution. He's a being of death. He is very clear on what his mission is and what he has come here to do. And as this battle is taking place, not on the Niobe side, she's trying to protect these women that are about to be executed. They're tied up and she's trying to release them. This is a part of her destiny. She is this being of savior that everybody has been talking about. And as she is fighting this being, they're going back and forth, not just in combat, but they're speaking to each other, and he's playing mind games, at least in my opinion. And although he is doing that as well, he is trying to pretty much tell her something. Like, I don't think you know who you are all the way either, when she responds with, "You don't know me." And that's one of the more interesting things is, people that don't know themselves all the way. It leaves room for other people to spectate who they are. And not only we are set in the future of this battle, but we are set back in time to the origin of Niobe and to what has taken place before this. And we are shown that she pretty much has the backstory, the origin story of she's a part of this tribe, but then somebody told, right? Somebody pretty much snitched them out and she had to be sent away, and the others pretty much sacrificed themselves to hold off the enemy so she can get away. And for her to return, for her to grow up, understand who she is, and to return for battle and to pretty much unleash her wrath upon those that were the threat and upon those that are the enemy, etc. And another thing about this story is that it is the great art in here. The art in here is absolutely amazing. One thing I do like is, strange new art within a comic book, and especially when it comes to fantasy, and this definitely does it. I love how the culture is, the art, everything is so detailed, and you can tell that the culture within this world was taken very seriously, and that's one thing that I really do appreciate. And it goes well with the story, especially with what Niobe is being told. And she grows up from this point, she grows up and becomes the warrior. But even from the first book, there's a lot of talk about her destiny, who she is, what part does she play in being this godly figure amongst those, and her having to save those, and the difference between her being love and hate and everything else that comes into play with that. And I think the story does a pretty good job on showing the struggle or the pain that somebody would go through if they had to play such a role in history, play such a role in that everything relies on them, on how history will play out. Would they go extinct? Would they die? Or would they be able to rise to the occasion and become the said figure that everybody else sees them as, even if they don't see themselves as said figure, playing that part in the war, playing that part of history. And another thing is that this man right here, he pretty much warned her that time will come where, after everything is said and done, will you do what needs to be done? And he's telling this to this girl, he's telling this to her about this guy that was, his crimes and about what he did, that like you're gonna have to take him out. Will you be able to do as such? And it's not just something as simple as being an assassin. It is a part in, will you be able to stick to your guns when the time comes? Will you fall to mercy, or will you understand that some things are just pretty much needs to be done, like he needs to be X'd out? And we see what she is able to do. We see what she has to do. We see her journey up into said point in time. And the story does a very good job on letting you know that she did not have it easy. She did not have anything given to her. She had to fight to get here, both physically and mentally with herself, and able to get to this point in time. And this is when the battle continues. This is where this long battle that has come to this point. And this is another thing that the story does very well, is that it's able to try to fight without it feeling like it's lasting way too long, or it's overstaying its welcome in the story. And after the battle is done, she actually wins. She beats this guy. And then that's when she tells him that, I'm not going to actually kill you. And that means that he's going to be needed for something else. But it's how she beats him. She gives herself up, right? So he lets the other girls go. And she walks forward, and he pretty much thinks he's won. He thinks that the battle's over and he's finally going to be able to get Niobe. But as soon as she got close enough, that's when she pretty much dismantles him and wins the battle altogether. But his demise isn't over, because she has other plans for him, in which he states that there's a woman that is like Niobe, but she is silver, and that leaves more mystery to the story and lets you know that something else is coming in the future. And that's all I have for this video. Thank you guys for watching this video. Like and share and subscribe for more, and thank you for watching.